Yeah, hello everyone. Uh, Welcome to the session 6 of Theory of Computation, Formal Languages and Automata Theory. So, in this today's session, we are going to discuss about a special NFA, which is called NFA with epsilon moves or NFA with epsilon transitions. In the previous session, we had a discussion on uh, NFA, its mathematical representation, and how to construct a NFA for the given problem. So these are the concepts which we have seen in the previous session. So in this session, we are going to discuss about the concept of NFA with epsilon transitions. Okay. So basically, we know that in NFA, from a particular state on input symbol, there may be a one transition, there may be multiple transition, or there may not be any transition at all. So these are the three possibilities for a state on a particular input symbol. Okay. So here in this NFA with epsilon, we are extending the NFA concept by adding the epsilon transition. Okay. So what is the necessity of adding the epsilon transition? So here by adding that epsilon transition, we can move from one state to another state without processing any input symbol. So let me say you are having some state P and Q. Okay. So these are the two states, right? So if we are specifying an epsilon transition from state P to some state Q, it means that we can move from state P to state Q without processing any symbol. Okay, so we can say that it is simply like jumping from one state to the another state without considering any input. Okay, so uh, to make this sense to you, I would say simply jumping from one state to the another state without processing any input symbol is done by using this epsilon transition. Okay, so in the previous class we have seen NFA in which we don't have such type of transitions, right? So here in this NFA with epsilon concept, we are going to add, you are going to have this epsilon transition. Okay, so what is the necessity of this epsilon transition? Means we can move from one state to the another state without processing any input symbol. Okay, so uh, this feature makes the NFA to be in multiple state at once. So what it means, you could be at state P or you could be at state Q. Okay. So there are two possibilities. So if you are interested, you can be in state P or you can move to the state Q. Okay. So because we have specified this epsilon transition. So as we know that epsilon is nothing but it is an empty symbol. Okay. So because of this extra epsilon transition, there is a change in the transition function. Okay, so before going to discuss about the transition function delta, let me explain how to represent this NFA with epsilon in a mathematical expression. Okay, so first thing, a NFA with epsilon is expressed mathematically by using this quintuple notation. As we know, m is equal to, we could say that m is nothing but it is simply it is NFA with epsilon. Okay, so m or n, whatever the symbol that you want, you can take. So capital M is equal to, it is consisting of 5 tuples. As we know, q is nothing but, capital Q is nothing but set of final states. Sigma alphabet set is equal to set of finite input symbols. Next, delta cap. So delta cap is a transition function in the NFA with epsilon. Okay, so in order to differentiate between the DFA transition function and NFA epsilon transition function, here we are using delta cap. So delta cap means we are referring to it a transition function related to the NFA with epsilon. Okay, next, Q naught is the starting state, as we know, and capital F is a set of final states. Okay, now how do we represent this delta cap, that is a transition function in NFA with epsilon? So already we know that delta maps current state and current input, so it maps current state Q and current input symbol, right? So up to now we have seen this, but additionally, since it is going to have an epsilon transition, so that's why we are adding one more set here, which is called as epsilon set. So delta cap maps current state and current input symbol along with, that is union, epsilon, to produce power set of Q. Okay, so in NFA we have something like that. Q maps, that means a transition function delta maps current state and current input symbol to produce power set of Q. Okay, power set of Q. But here we are having epsilon transition. So due to this, we are adding one symbol extra here, that is union of epsilon. Okay, so this is the change in the NFA epsilon transition function. Okay, so that transition function in the NFA with epsilon is represented by a delta cap, right? Next one, the another important property here is that we need to compute the epsilon closure. Okay, so whenever we have a problem related to NFA with epsilon or conversion from NFA epsilon to NFA without epsilon, then the most important operation which is required here is epsilon closure. Okay, so just carefully observe this and try to get the concept here. So epsilon closure, so epsilon closure is represented as epsilon hyphen closure. Okay, so what is this epsilon closure? So point number one is that epsilon closure is calculated for a state. Okay, so based upon the number of states given in the NFA with epsilon, for every state we calculate this epsilon closure. So what is this epsilon closure actually means? So epsilon closure is nothing but simply the set of states that can be reachable from a particular state by processing epsilon. Okay, so let me say, uh, let us consider we are in state P. Okay, so we are in state P and we are calculating the epsilon closure of P, means we are identifying what are the possible set of states that we can reach from P, that what are the possible state that we can reach on processing epsilon from P. Okay, so let me say here I am writing Q and R. Okay, so these are the two states. So epsilon closure of P means what I am trying to find out is that what are the possible states that can be reachable from P on processing epsilon. Okay, so what are the possible states that we can that are reachable from P? So there are two states, Q and R. Okay, so also if you are in P and if you don't process anything, that means if you consider an epsilon, you will be in a P state, as well as you may go to the state Q or you may go to the state R. So we can say that epsilon closure of P nothing but P comma Q comma R. So this is how do we calculate the epsilon closure for a particular state, right? So what is the epsilon closure for a state means what are the possible set of states that are reachable from a particular state by processing epsilon. Okay, so here just observe this example here. So just we are considering the epsilon closure for P, right? So epsilon closure for P means what are the possible states that are reachable from P on processing epsilon, right? So let us see the possibility one. So if you are in state P and if you don't process anything, or if you consider epsilon, don't process means if we don't process anything means we are considering epsilon. So if you are in state P and if you don't process anything, you will be in the same state, one of the possibilities. So epsilon closure of P is going to consisting of the one member, that is P itself. Okay. Next, second possibility. If you are in P, if you get an epsilon, then you may go to the state Q. So that is another possibility. That is Q. Next three. If you are in P and if you get an epsilon, then you may go to the state R. So R. Is there any more epsilon moves from P? No. So this entire set is called as the epsilon closure of P. Okay, epsilon closure of P. Okay, so how do we write the epsilon closure? Epsilon closure of some state. So whatever it may be either P, Q, or so epsilon closure is represented as epsilon hyphen closure. Okay, so I think that this is clear. So better if you can practice on a paper, you may do it. Okay. Next one. So here we are going to consider a simple example here. So here you could see this is the NFA with epsilon, right? So this is NFA with epsilon. So how do we differentiate an NFA and NFA with epsilon? So definitely in NFA with epsilon, we are going to have the epsilon transition. So here you could see from Q0 to Q1, we are having an epsilon, right? And from Q1 to Q2, we are having an epsilon. So whenever the NFA consisting of epsilon transitions, then it is going to be called as epsilon with NFA. Okay. Now, here we will see how to represent the state transition table for the NFA with epsilon and how to compute the epsilon closure for every state in this. Okay. So, point number one, how to represent the state transition table. So, as we mentioned that NFA is consisting of first thing input symbols along with epsilon. Okay. Input symbol along with epsilon. So, whenever we have this input symbol along with epsilon, then then how do we write it? So first thing, in row wise we are going to have the states, in column wise we are going to have the input symbols. So what are the input symbols here? So one is 0, next one is 1, and next one is 2. Along with we are having epsilon, so that's why we have to write epsilon is also an input symbol, right? Whereas in the NFA, we do not have the epsilon transition, so we do not have this epsilon column, right? But in the NFA, since we are going to have the epsilon transition explicitly, so we need to include this epsilon column in the input symbols. Okay, right. So rest of the things are same. Okay, now what is the first state we are considering? Q naught. Since it is a starting state, we are representing or labeling it with an arrow. Okay, so Q naught on 0, it is 0. Q naught on 0 means it is Q naught itself, self loop. Okay, next Q naught on 1, we do not have the transition from Q naught on 1, so 5. Next Q naught on 2, we do not have the uh, transition from Q naught on 2, so just write 5. And we also then we are having a transition from Q naught on epsilon to Q1. So in epsilon column, you write Q1. Okay. Next, next state Q1. So Q1 on 0, we are not having the 0 transition from Q1, so it is 5. Next Q1 on 1, it is self. Then Q1 on 2, we are not having the transition from Q1 on input 2, so it is 5, null set. Next Q1 on epsilon. So from Q1 on processing epsilon, we are going to state Q2 explicitly. So Q1 on epsilon, just write Q2. Okay. Then next state is Q2. Since it is the final state, mark this Q2 with a asterisk. Okay. Next, Q2 on 0, we are not having any transition, so 5. Q2 on 1, yes, we are not having any transition, so mark it as 5. Then Q2 on 2, it is a self transition, so just mark Q2 on 2 is, it is Q2 only. Next, Q2 on epsilon, since we are not having an epsilon transition from Q2, mark it as 5. Okay. So this is how we can write the state transition table for the given NFA with epsilon diagram. Okay. Now let us move on how to compute the epsilon closure, right? So since we are having the three states Q0, Q1, Q2, we need to compute the epsilon closure for Q0, Q1, Q2 separately. Okay. So first thing, epsilon closure of Q0, right? So one important point is that whenever you are calculating the epsilon closure for that set, for any set, in the epsilon closure, first include that state. Okay, so let me say if you are calculating the epsilon closure for state phi p, if you are calculating the epsilon closure for some state p, then 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 if you are calculating the epsilon closure for state p means, first thing, include the state as it is in the state, as it is in the set. Okay, then Because what it means, why we are adding, because if you are in state P, if you process epsilon, where you will be in the same state, right? So if you are because if in P, if you don't process anything, you will be in the same state, right? So by considering that property, we are adding that state as a first element in the result set. Okay, so here see epsilon closure of q naught. Since we are calculating the epsilon closure of q naught, first add the q naught into the epsilon closure set. Okay, then identify the epsilon transitions from q naught and add those states. Okay, so in the diagram, from q naught on epsilon, we are having a transition towards q1. Okay, so if you observe this diagram, we are having a transition from q naught on epsilon towards q1. So you can add the q1 into the epsilon closure of q naught. Okay, so add q1 into the epsilon closure of q naught. Okay, then next, here you could see q naught on epsilon, we may go to the state q1. Okay, but here you could see from q1 we are having an epsilon transition towards q2. So that means without processing anything, you may move from q1 to q2. So since we are having a epsilon transition from q1 to q2, we can say that we can directly move from q0 to q2 without processing anything. So that's why add q2. Okay, so how we are adding means, here you could see, here you could say it is something like a transitive property, right? So if you are having a epsilon transition from q0 to q1 and q1 to q2, then definitely we can move from q0 to q2 directly without processing any input symbol. That is, without processing any input symbol means epsilon. By processing the epsilon, we can directly move from q0 to q2. So that is the reason we have added the q2 itself. Okay, so next one, epsilon closure of q1. So epsilon closure of q1 means first add the q1. Okay, then next identify the epsilon transition from q1. So we are having an epsilon transition from q1 on towards the q2. So add the state q2. Okay, then next epsilon closure of q2. So epsilon closure of q2 means first add that state as it is q2 and then check for the epsilon transitions from q2. So we are not having any epsilon transition from q2. So there are no more states that can be added to that set. Okay, so the result is q2 itself. So in this fashion, we can calculate the epsilon closure for every state. Okay, next one. So basically, these epsilon transitions do not increase the power of NFA. So basically, the use of this epsilon transition will not increase any power of the NFA. But here there is an option that we may be in multiple states without processing any input symbol. Okay, so that property is satisfied with this NFA with epsilon. Okay, the next one, transition function. So just try to understand this and also practice on a paper because it is a uh, logical one. So first thing, how do we write the transition function here? So let me say here transition function, as we discussed earlier, it is represented by delta cap. Okay, delta cap of q naught comma a. Okay, so we are in some state q naught and we are going to process the input symbol a. Then how do we write this transition function? The very first thing is that in the case of NFA, we directly perform the state transition. That means by seeing the diagram, we can directly perform or specify the state on which the transition is going on, right? But here, in the case of NFA with epsilon, here there is a change. What is the change? The change is that before applying the transition, that is delta, calculate the epsilon closure of Q naught, right? If you practice the NFA concept, you could identify that in the case of NFA, we directly perform delta of q comma a by seeing the diagram. Okay, or q naught comma a by seeing the diagram. But in the NFA, what we need to do is that extra, additionally, we need to calculate before performing this transition function. We need to calculate the epsilon closure. So calculate the epsilon closure of calculate the epsilon closure of q naught or whatever the state that you are considering. Okay, then perform the transition between the result of epsilon closure and input symbol A, which we usually represent it by using delta. Okay, done. After getting the result of delta, again perform the epsilon closure. Again perform the epsilon closure like this. I think the point is clear. So first thing is that uh, whenever you are performing the delta cap from some state on input symbol A, first thing is that compute the epsilon closure of the state that you are considering. Okay, once you get an epsilon closure value of that considered state, then perform the transition on input symbol A. Okay, okay, by considering the result of epsilon closure, then perform the transition function on input symbol A. After getting the result of transition function, perform the epsilon closure. Okay, so in a simple way, I would say like before performing the delta, perform the epsilon closure, then perform delta, and then okay. So here we are calculating the epsilon closure for a particular state on input symbol A. Okay, so this is the transition function. Okay, so remember that while computing the transition function, the point number one is that before performing the delta, compute the epsilon closure of that considered state on input symbol A. After getting the result of that transition function, then perform the epsilon closure. Okay, next one, delta of delta cap of q comma xa. Okay, so what is x? X is something like a string which is ending with small a. Okay, So then how do we write the extended transition function? Same. First thing is that we have to consider this part q comma x. So how do we write? First thing is that you need to perform epsilon closure. So epsilon closure of q, okay, comma x, and perform the delta between these two. That means perform the transition on these two. Okay. Once you get the result of this entire delta, that means this part, okay, then again perform delta cap between this result or resultant state and input symbol a. Okay, so this is the recursive procedure. Okay, delta cap means again you need to consider this part, this equation. Okay, so this is the how way of writing the extended transition function in a recursive way. Okay, so I hope that the point is clear. Here the first thing is that consider the state q and x. Okay, so before that perform the epsilon closure of q and then perform the delta between q and x. Whatever the resultant state set that you will get, consider it and perform delta cap on the remaining input small a. Okay, so this is how do we write the extended transition function. Okay. Next, so this is the simple example for construction of NFA with epsilon. So just read the question here. Design an NFA with epsilon that accepts set of all strings over sigma is equal to 0 comma 1 which start and ends with 0. Okay, so you can follow the same step which we use for the construction of NFA. Okay, so the first step is understand the language, or first of all write down the language for which you need to construct the NFA with epsilon. So here just read the question once and try to understand the properties of that language. Okay, so which types of strings are going to be accepted by the NFA with epsilon? That start and end with 0. So start with 0, end with 0. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier that string is having three parts: prefix, substring, suffix. So starts with 0, end with 0. So this is the basic string that is going to be accepted, 0 0. So then 0 in middle part, substring part, you may have any combinations of zeros and ones, and again ending with 0. So substring part I am writing here is 1, let me say, and 0. So again it is starting and ending with 0. And next 0, middle part I am writing as 0 and ending with 0. Okay, triple 0. So these are the various possibilities of the properties which is mentioned in the question. Okay, so various possibilities of the strings you can write here. So let me say 0 1 1 0. Okay, so this is another possibility. Next 0 1 0 0. This is another possibility. Like that you can generate many number of strings by considering the property which is given in the question. Okay, now how do we construct the NFA with epsilon? So just you need to add epsilon transition somewhere in the diagram, right? That's it. So just construct the way in which you construct the NFA concept, and in between just try to add the epsilon transition. Okay, then that will be the result or the solution for the given problem. Okay, so here just how do we write this construct the NFA with epsilon consisting of starting with 0 and ending with 0. So just you may write like this: q naught, starting state is q naught, let me say. Okay, so since we need to add somewhere the epsilon transition, so just add at the beginning, right? So q naught on 0, just make it as q1. Okay, okay, so I am showing you the one of the possibilities of NFA with epsilon for this given problem, right? So here we are saying that in q1 we expect 0. After getting 0 we go to the next state. Okay, in this again we expect 0 and we go to the some other state. Okay, and we can make this as a final state. Okay, right. So here, by considering the diagram in this way, we can say that the basic string 0, 0 is going to be accepted. Okay, right. So in the middle part, we may have any number of zeros and ones, right? So middle part means Q2. In the state Q2, if you get any ones and any zeros, we don't bother because that is a substring part. Okay, if we are going to get a 0 at the end, then we are going to get a final state. Okay, so in this way we can generate the NFA with epsilon, right? In Q2, in Q3, in the final state, if you get any number of zeros, again, it is ending with 0 only. So in the final state, you are going to have the self transition on 0. Why? Because in this final state, let me say Q3. Okay, so Q3. So in Q3, if you reach Q3 means what it means, you have seen a string that starts with 0 and having the last character as 0, right? If you get one more 0 here, it is again making the string ending with 0 only. So that's why in Q3 on 0 input, we are going to have the self transition, right? So if you get any number of zeros in Q3, it is nothing but the string is ending with 0 only. So that's why we are having the self transition. Okay. So this is one of the answers for the given problem. Okay. So this is also a correct solution. Okay. Or you may go with this solution. Okay. So here I have mentioned just what I have done here is that before the final state I have specified the epsilon transition, right? So even if you don't specify this one, the problem is the solution is still correct. Okay, so at least in construction of this NFA with epsilon, at least one epsilon transition you need to specify. Okay, and once you construct this NFA with epsilon, you need to test whether the NFA epsilon is accepting all the valid strings or not. Okay, and also invalid strings must be rejected by the NFA with epsilon. Okay, so the solution or the NFA epsilon solution must accept all the valid strings and also must reject the invalid string. Okay? By considering this point, you need to construct the NFA with epsilon for any problem. Okay? Next. So this is how we can process or how we can check the acceptance of a string, right? So to check the acceptance of a string, basically we use the extended transition function here. So as I mentioned earlier that how to write this extended transition function. So delta cap of, so starting state is q naught comma. Let me say your string is, that means you want to test whether 0, 1, 0 is accepted or not. So write down that entire string. Okay. So first part is that what you need to do is that first calculate the epsilon closure of Q naught. Okay. Once you get a epsilon closure of Q naught, then perform delta transition or transition on 0. Okay. So see here. First calculate the epsilon closure of Q naught. The epsilon closure of Q naught, then comma 0, and then perform the transition function among them. Okay, that is delta. Okay, then what is the remaining input? So what is the, whatever the resultant state set that you get by performing this delta, consider that resultant set and consider the remaining input and write the delta cap. That means perform the delta cap. Okay, so here you could see that delta cap here is nothing but we are writing it in a recursive way. Okay, so here you could see what is the epsilon closure of Q naught. The epsilon closure of Q naught is Q naught comma Q1. Epsilon closure of Q naught is Q naught comma Q1. Okay, then perform delta of Q set of Q naught comma Q1 comma 0, that is the delta between them, and whatever the remaining input you have to consider it 1, 0 and perform the delta cap. Okay, then write off delta cap. Then how do we write the transition from this set Q naught Q1 on 0? Simply write, take each set, take each state Q naught. So delta of Q naught on 0 union delta of Q1 on 0. Okay, you have to write in this way, and the rest of things are same, comma 1, 0 and whole delta cap. Now Q naught on 0 is 5. Okay, Q1 on 0 is Q2. Okay. So this is the resultant set that you got. So 5 union Q2 is nothing but Q2 itself. Okay. So q2 comma 10 and whole transition. Okay, then how do we write the delta cap of q2 comma 10? Simple, right? Epsilon closure of q2, okay, comma, we are considering one input symbol, that is 1, okay, then whole delta transition, okay, then delta, okay, then, so whatever the resultant state that you will get for this transition function delta, then consider the remaining input 0 and perform delta cap. Okay, perform delta cap. Okay. Now what is the epsilon closure for q2? It is nothing but q2 comma q3. Okay, that is the epsilon closure for q2 comma q3. Then write down delta of q2 comma q3 comma 1 delta transition comma remaining input is 0, then whole delta cap. Okay. Now, how do we write the transition q2 q3 on 1? You have to consider each state. Delta of q2 comma 1 union delta of q3 comma 1. Okay, and rest of the thing is same. What is delta of q2 comma 1? It is q2 itself union q3 on 1. So we are not having the transition from q3 on 1. So we will write 5. So union 5, q2 union 5. So comma 0, whole delta cap. So what is the result of q2 union 5? It is q2 itself. So delta cap of q2 comma 0. Okay. Then how do we compute this delta cap of q2 comma 0? So write epsilon closure of q2, okay, comma 0, then whole transition. Okay, whole transition. Okay, then what is the epsilon closure of q2? It is q2 comma q3 on 0. That means we are considering the symbol as 0. Now how do we write the transition function delta? By considering both the states, you have to take each state at once. Delta of q2 comma 0 on 0 union delta of q3 comma 0. Okay, now what is q2 on 0? It is 5. What is q3 on 0? It is q4. So 5 union q4 is q4 only, right? So after getting this state, resultant state, again you need to perform the epsilon closure, right? So as I mentioned that before performing the transition, perform the epsilon closure. After getting the result state, perform the epsilon closure. Okay. So epsilon closure of q4 intersect with q4. Okay, so intersect with Q4 means what is the final state in our diagram here? Q4, right? What is the final state in this both the diagrams? It is Q4. So just consider this one. Okay, Q4. So epsilon closure of Q4 intersect with Q4 is not equal to 5, then the given string is accepted. Okay, then the given string is accepted. So in this way, you can test the acceptance of string in the NFA with epsilon. So students kindly practice this one, right? So the main important point is that before performing the delta on a particular state, compute the epsilon closure. After getting the final result of delta cap, perform the epsilon closure. Okay. So remember this point. So just practice these two problems again. Design an NFA with epsilon for accepting set of all strings with any number of A's followed by any number of B's followed by any number of C's. So any number of A's followed by any number of B's followed by any number of C's, right? So first thing is that you need to write down the language. So any number of A's, any number of B's, any number of C's means I could say 0 number of A's, 0 number of B's, 0 number of C's. So the first basic string that is going to be accepted is epsilon. Okay, then A is also accepted because A means 1A, 0B, 0C. Then B is also accepted. That means 0A, 1B, 0C. C is also accepted. That means 0 number of A's followed by 0 number of B's followed by 1C. Okay. Then B is also accepted. That means 2 A's followed by 1B. Okay. Then 2 A's followed by B followed by C. Likewise. So you can generate many number of possible strings based on the given property in the problem. Okay. So any number of A's followed by any number of B's followed by any number of C's. Okay. So what is the basic string that is going to accept epsilon? Okay. So here, if you observe, here just I have mentioned that Q naught on A self transition. That means you may have any number of A's. Then Q naught on epsilon, you are going to Q1. Here we may have any number of B's. Then from Q1 on epsilon, we are going to state Q2. Here you are going to have any number of C's. Okay. So if you observe, epsilon is also going to be accepted. Why? Because without processing anything, you may go from Q0 to Q1, Q1 to Q2. Since we can reach Q2 from Q0, the string epsilon is accepted. Okay, the string epsilon is accepted. But here you can also construct the same, and we can also construct NFA epsilon for this problem in a different way also. Okay, just you need to specify at least one epsilon transition in your solution. Okay, for that NFA epsilon to become valid. So this is the problem number 2. Next, problem number 3 is that design NFA epsilon to accept set of all strings over sigma is equal to 0 comma 1 with any number of zeros or any number of 1. Okay. So you may have any number of zeros or any number of 1. Okay. So 0 is accepted, 1 is accepted, double 0 is accepted, double 1 is accepted, triple 0 is accepted, triple 1 is accepted. Okay, because here we are having a property that any number of zeros or any number of ones. Okay, so you may have the mixture also. Okay, 0 along with 1, 1 along with 0. So any combination of zeros and ones are accepted here. So for this problem also you can construct the NFA with epsilon. Okay. So remember here the NFA with epsilon for a given problem varies from person to person. Okay, so for a particular problem there may be many solutions. That means there may be many NFA with epsilon transitions. Okay, so there is no unique answer for this. Okay, so there may be many possible solutions for the given NFA epsilon problem. Okay, so I hope that this concept is clear to you. So if you feel any difficulty or if you encounter any of the doubts or problems, then feel free to get in touch with me. Okay, then I will answer those questions or queries in the next session. Okay, in the next class we will discuss how to convert NFA with epsilon into the NFA. Okay, so thank you for attending this session.